Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Beyond Limits podcast. I'm your co-host, Greg, and today I want to talk to you about 3 keys to having a great marriage. The very first key I want to share with you today is that you should be best friends. Typically, this happens in the dating stage, but unfortunately, some couples never make it this far, and their relationship is miserable. Your relationship with your spouse should not be just based on physical, but on an emotional level. You should be able to share anything and everything you're comfortable talking about. Usually this is the case with women where they can get together and talk about their issues, typically because their spouse doesn't listen. And for men, sometimes this is difficult, and we typically keep all of our problems to ourselves. Text and call each other often. Talk to each other often. If you don't keep the communication going between you both, someone in that relationship will feel isolated and lonely. So if you want a great marriage, become best friends. The second key to a great marriage is knowing one another's love language. Now, if you've never read the book, 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, I highly recommend it to any married couple, young or old, and even for teenagers. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Each one is important and expresses love in its own way. Learning your partner's and your own primary love language will help create a stronger bond in your relationship. If your spouse's love language is words of affirmation, it could be as simple as saying thank you or I love you to make them feel loved. Acts of service could be to clean the house or take out the garbage. Receiving gifts is as simple as buying a gift every once in a while to make your spouse feel loved. Quality time could be going to the movies or just sitting around the house and playing a game of Scrabble or just being in the same room as each other. And physical touch could be holding hands, or hugging each other often, or physical intimacy. Read the book, take the quiz, and find out what you and your spouse's love languages are. And the last key to having a great marriage is to keep a balance in the amount of time you spend with one another, and also spend away from one another. Taking your wife or husband on a date could be the thing that sparks your love for one another again. But if too much time is spent together, you'll get burned out. It's okay to have a hobby. It's good to have some alone time or hang out with some other friends. You need to make sure that you're spending enough time with your spouse, but keep it balanced because spending too much time together will cause a wear in your relationship. As I wrap up today's talks, I just want to say thank you for listening. And if you enjoy this podcast, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to hear more about having a great marriage. And I'll see you in the next podcast.